Alright, part 2. Electrical heating systems. Type of the installation electrical conductor of the resistance electricity will get how the current passes through. This is the basis for the electrical resistance for the heating system operating on the simple principle. Most electric heating systems have no moving parts to wear out with the cost of the problem maintenance of the usually low the full fuel supply concept. This is no fuel combustion. There is no need for the chimney with which help to make an electric heat with less expense for the type to install know how to operate with successful electrical heat operation, how the most properly insulated with a certain region, high cost with electrical power, making the type of the heating too expensive and practical with radiant ceilings. Electrical radiant ceilings, which operate similarly with the radiant hot water system, may be involved with the heating capable panel units with the radiant cable installation, utilize the woven grid, slim electrical heating cables, which may be embedded with the plaster sandwich between the plasterboard radiant panels, are nothing more than wall board sections, heating elements of the built at a factory. Both types of radiant ceilings can be painted as you would any ceiling depending with a room decor over the panel installation, usually choice for the remodeling work because of the they are mounted easily with the existing ceiling. Heating cables are preferred for the new construction wall heater. Electrical resistance generally used with the supply supplemental heat to the problem, so special function area for the bath, utility room for the basement with the entry. There's actually small panel units, most of the equipped with a fan to circulate the room and air for the electrical heating, elements into the room, the baseboard heat. Baseboard heat. With the permanent baseboard heating is currently the most popular form of electrical heating. Basically, the heating units only with wired into the outer wall of your home. The consists of the electrical heating element consumed with a slim metal casing with a mounted along the wall and placed with a usually wooden baseboard with each of the room living area with a room with separately wired into their own thermostat, enabling to regulate with the temperature of any of the room and independently. Other areas common for the quarters, such as kitchen, living room, can be kept moderate temperature. Family with the members can even heat individual rooms as they prefer. How hydronic heating systems work. Less common than equally effective with the type of electrical baseboard heating with a hydronic system only limited to the central electric boiler heats a liquid, usually water, which is pumped throughout the home and circulated through the baseboard. And another type of electro-hydronic system. There are special immersion heaters within the baseboard unit with a typical hydronic heater requires no plumbing, the only wiring similar so that the resistance heating of the board with the circuit. Central electric hot water boiler very with a compact with the average home size with the must take with about 3 cubic feet of the space because of the heating element is immersed directly into the water that is being heated. All of the heat produced by the elements of the transfer directly to the boiler. The heated water is piped directly into the room of the basement board to compensatory effect of the control system. Electric boiler similarly with any of the furnace components of being the room thermostat with the circulatory control of the boiler. You have the fast-acting immersion type with a high limited control with the mechanical pressure temperature of the relief valve to keep the unit from overheating, building up the head of the steam. The adaptation of the electrical boiler involves the connection of the large storage vessel with which permits off-peak with water heating. The heating of the storage water that when lower off our electrical rate supply when the thermostat calls for heat with the pump circulates the heated water through the reservoir of the room unit. The central hydronic boiler especially suited for the converting conventional fuel boiler system into the older home electrical heat with no changes that are required for the heat, the distribution apparatus for the circulating pump, piping the radiators. In other words, the old coal, old fuel burn is simply replaced with electrical burners inside with a portable television set, which is usually mounted on the wall, freezing valuable floor space, such as adaptable makes as electrical baseboard heat suitable to remounting as well with the new constructed unit. It can be painted with a blended and any with the decor with the required limited maintenance beyond with the occasional dusting and vacuuming. However, you must find with the mind the addition of the central air conditioning of your home would require ductwork. Incidentally, electrical hydronic installation readily adaptable to zone control. Or an electrical furnace installation operating an electrical furnace. Electrical warm-up of the furnace with the furnace operates basically with the same with the conventional fuel furnace with the two, except for the series with the 2 of 5 with electrical resisting heating. The element to take with the plate for the burner and unit with the electrical service system works in a very simple way with the electrical current straight with the heating element give it the concentrated flow of the heat and with the manner similar to the electric iron. The heat of the circulated throughout the entire home with the aid of the boiler with the fan located with the furnace housing the fan actually with the only moving part with the whole unit. Heating elements themselves operated with a sequence of the depending on the temperature of the inside with the temperature limited control of the overall system provided with a low voltage thermostat relay control. Unlike forced air system, electrical furnace need with no chimney, since there's no combustion fuels and there's no gas to be vented. This means that you can install the electrical furnace almost anywhere on the inside of the house. Most units small enough that they can be tucked into a space limited with a main floor closet. This can also be suspended from the overhead joist basement, mounted with the basement floors without greatly affecting the floor plan with a duct system. Electrical furnace can be used to cool house as well as heat, with a central air conditioning unit can easily be connected to the existing duct system electrical furnace is installed. And later, if you wish, and advisable to include the original furnace installation with electrical air cleaner with the cold air return ducts when they're playing with the duct system electrical furnace with the recommended to locate with a heat supply with a register for the outside of the wall home and preferably below the window level of the insurance for the home will be heated along with the parameter of about 75% of the heat loss occurs. It's best to have the return air register located the inside of the wall near the ceiling with a facility with the air circulation promote even the temperature with the level of the position with especially important with the plan to add central air conditioning at some later time when the return register spills up high up on the wall with the fresh cold air into near the floor with the quickly dashes of the stale warm air without high return registers. A pocket with the hot air would be trapped in the room. Duct heaters. Individual room temperature for the control of the design with a warm air system. Electrical heaters should be used with a small resistant heater. The heaters can be easily mounted anywhere with a forced air duct. Even though rebuilding existing ductwork accommodating with the they can be used to heat the entire house, or in the conjunction with electrical furnace. In any case, each of the conductor heater can be fitted with their own thermostat so the temperature can individually adjust. Basic facts of heat pump operation. Heat pump is a very special type of electrical heating system. Electrical extracts heat from the outdoor air over the water when it transports indoors in the winter. And some of the reverse cycle they observe the heat indoors, the disposing of the outdoor air or the water. In other words, the same unit heats the house from the water, then cools it in the summer. To make it work, you need only a set of the thermostat with the desired temperature of the will maintained the year round. With the heat pump will automatically reverse itself with cool or heat depending on the outside of the weather changes. Basically, the heat pump consists of the outdoor coil with the indoor coil with the compressor. Warm weather, the indoor coil picks up the heat with the indoor air with the transfer of the means of the circulating refrigerant to the compressor with the reverse outdoors, and when the cold weather the opposite takes place, the reversing valve will automatically change with the direction of the refrigerant flow with the heat from the outside air with the transferred indoor with the indoor air is circulated throughout the house. The means of the blower and the duct system, similar to the way the circulation is accomplished with the chain force air system. Exemption of cold climates with below the zero winter readings with the uncommon necessity they have supplemental resisting heating with the installed with the heat pump to fully capable of providing adequate approximately 85% of the time during the heating season when the outside temperature drops near zero below. However, the supplementary cool automatically adds enough heat to keep the home warm. The supplementary heat may be required with a few extra cold days, but the system makes up for the cost of the saving in late fall, early spring on the day. But the homeowner will have the chain with the thermostat setting several times to heat the pump. The original or owner will be able to keep the house home comfortably without any special adjustments. If in the morning temperature is 40 degrees out, he will have heat. After the temperature will rise to the high of 70 in mid-afternoon, home will be cooled, all without realizing that the outside temperature has fluctuated greatly. In addition, with the power humidifier for the compensate for the winter dryness for the electrical air cleaner to keep the indoor consistently clean will make the heating pumping system one of the most effective available to the interior climate control. As an all-electrical powered heating system, installation very important satisfactory heating pump. The operation at least 6 inches. Installation should be installed with enough to make it in total 6 inches over the ceiling, under the attic, the exterior of the wall should contain 4 inches of the insulation material. All floors at least 2 inches. Storm windows, doors, and the nest with a double insulation glass thorough pane type should be specified with a new insulation issue with the vapor barrier linings in all slidings. Purpose method. The total insulation cut down with about 75% of the home with the heat less insulation. And purpose of the method, the total insulation cut down with 75% of the home with the heat left with the house with the already built with the total insulation not as feasible, possible, practical to have with the partial insulation can affect the shaving up to 30% with a very short time. Insulation pays for itself with the produced fuel bills. Home and air conditioner fuel insulation will save on power, electricity, oil, gas, and so on too with the adequate sun insulation. Online often make with a smaller capacity air conditioner equipped with them requiring less power with the equally with the cooling job. If the home does not have the air conditioner, insulation will shut off the heat. Insulation will still shut out the heat. The type of the insulation, there are several different types of variety. Most home insulation materials fall into Using blankets are one of four categories: rigid walls, flexible belt, blankets, loose fills, reflective, all except for the reflective type of the work. Same principles. The trapped air with the thousands of the tunnel pockets with the material of preventing heat is passage either direction. The reflective tapes have foil surfaces that reflect heat. Some of the insulation materials combine both the reflective and entrapment principles. Some of the examples of foil covered bats. The type of the insulation, even the construction matter of preference for the houses that use old and improper insulated with the type of fill type that is easiest to install. It is blown in by a machine, specially trained workmen. For protection, fiberglass particles, wear sturdy clothing, gloves, and goggles and masks. Alright, vapor barrier. Soft insulation came up with the means of the reducing heating law. If it becomes obvious that without a vapor barrier, the insulation would be wet, loose, for the much for the insulation value. The vapor barrier is a material that does not absorb the moisture, but let the moisture pass through. With a commonly used materials of plastic film, metal foil, asphalt, with between the layers brown with the paper that installed primarily to keep the insulation from getting wet. The vapor barrier is also made with retaining room for moisture. Vapor barrier may be completely enclosed with the insulation, so with the blanket insulation. It may be applied to only one side of the bats installed with the vapor barrier with the indoor side, even if the air conditioner is planned. With another method to install the insulation bag, a similar material between the framing members of the cover the inside surface. Vapor barrier before applying with the wall finish. It is important that they carry care of the damage of this moisture bearing during and after installation. If it should become the torn and puncture with the opening, it should be effectively closed and patch. Finish attic insulation to insulate with the living space of the attic and stably insulation across the collar beams down over the draft and these wall studs along with the ceiling joists over the wall plate. It is also good to insulate the walls underside of the stairways of the underheated attics. Do not try to run a continuous blanket across the collar beam with the downward rafts. The knee wall uses separate sections to avoid buckling and gaps. Lap of the vapor of the breaker of the juncture. In either case, the ventilation of the collar beams is necessary. Be sure also that there is space for the ventilation between the insulation and roof sheeting of the attaching insulation of the rafter of the recess, the lighting fixture of the exhaust fan with the motors with the protruding and the ceiling are not covered to the staple the 8-inch intervals. Check for the gaps along with the stapling flange. Insulation. Ceiling and walls and floors. Ceiling insulation starting with the outer wall plate with the back to the inch or 1 or 2 with the vapor barrier ends of the insulation. Use the stapling with the flange to staple the vapor barrier with the plate. Be sure the insulation lays firmly on the top of the prevent the inflation air with the end of the insulation and attached to the plate with a staple insulation inserted along the side of the joist. The reflective insulation must have at least 3/4 of an inch airspace for the full insulation value. If the ceiling is in place, the insulation may be delayed with above the vapor barrier side down. Lay the insulation over the outside of the plate, being sure not to block the eave of the vents. If there's clearance, compress the insulation over the bridge or cut away with the material to carry the vapor of the barrier with the bridging and the staple into place. Then staff the material around with the bridging or add the separate base of vapor barrier under the bridging and overlapping barriers. Adjoining bats, then space around the bridge and the insulation. Wall insulation, staple the insulation with the top of the insulation touch of the exterior of the sheathing. The blanket size should be snug against the top of the bottom of the plate. Stapling of that horizontal frame of the members pull away with the material to fold the extra vapor barrier and staple flange. When it's possible, bats and blankets should be compressed and touched beyond with the piping and ducts where there's no split insulation. Easy to do so with the plate for the possibility to be hide behind obstructions. Omit insulation in front with a warm side when you encounter outlet boxes and electrical receptacles and wall projections. Place the insulation behind the obstruction, carefully cutting the fitting vapor barrier to ensure that the full protective where the accessible small spaces between the rough frame and the head of the jabs of the sill windows, doors of the insulation cover these small separate vapor barrier. Full insulation. Place the insulation vapor barrier up except for the vapor barrier paper is used to place the building paper over the subfloor with which the case face down. Floor of the crawl space should be protected with as much insulation as well with the vapor top of the joist between the joists and the subflooring with at least 2 inches of insulation around the walls of the crawl space to help keep cold air from seeping out from the floors and walls and the points of contact. Condensation is the word used here with the means of the change of the water with the vapor to liquid and solid state with the phenomenon that is probable to the owner of the even well-insulated home, especially with the attic and basement crawl spaces. After condensation, most homes that use unused attics that have the lower insulation spread over the beneath the attic floor will keep the heat of the room below. If it lowers the temperature of the attic, adding to the chill of the roof boards, usually with a colder winter with any other time when the warm, humid air of the house rises to the attic, entire attics through the cracks and apertures, up stairways into the contact cold roof board, loosen moistures which condense water. The condensation water works the way down from the ceiling walls, staining them into the conditions allowed to continue with the causing rot of the in other parts of the home. The cure is to lovers. Lovers are placed on gabbles with the end of the eave of the ratio of the 1/30 of the attic floor area of the turf of the ventile attic, letting humid air escape the moisture, yet without you undoing loss of heat. With the attic at 20 by 30 or 600 square feet, for example, the total lovers are added show that at least 2 square feet. Lovers are protected by by screens. The air should be increased at least 1.5 times. Crawl space condensation ventilation ratio of the crawl space with one with moisture seal with 1 square foot of the air with 1,200 square feet. 2 with a no moisture seal 1 square foot of the vent area with each with 150 square feet with additional ground moisture seal over the bare earth will help to keep the crawl space humidity with a safe level. The roof rolling 55 pounds of polyethylene sheet with a 4 millimeters or thicker labbed at least 3 inches, which may be satisfactory seal. After crawl space ventilation are both as necessary with the winters and as in summer to leave the levers open in the winter. Always provide at least 2 vent openings as well with a possible place that the air can flow through one over the insulated air with the ground surface on the other, and areas that are difficult to ventilate naturally an exhaust fan should be installed. Determining unit size. The air conditioning system is the 2-channel type of the central conditioning which control the entire house. Individual rooms which control only the room which of the play for the 2 system is different. Attributed to the limitation choice you make depends on your needs. Air conditioner term of the basic maybe the selection of BTUs, British thermal units with the tonnage and horsepower. 1 BTU is the amount of the heat required of the rate of the temperature. 1 pound of water, 1 degree in air conditioner. BTU measure indicate the amount of the heat will remove. The tonnage is another rating performance, especially with the contact connecting room units. If the relate to the conditioner cooling capacity, 1 ton of the cooling be capable of the cooling effect with achieve the melting of the ton of ice in 1 hour. The successful use the rule of thumb of the BTU when the tonnage and the air conditioner will prevent 1,200 BTUs of the cooling in an hour for every 1 ton of the which is rated. The highest power rating can still apply with a few miles, but not considered the accurate method. Is best avoid units rated with this way, with the horsepower referred to as that of the compressor motor. Many other components have a bearing of the cooling effect of the unit. 1 horsepower air conditioner, for example, may vary from 8,000 BTUs as to well over 10,000. Determining cooling capacity. Before you consider the installing air conditioning system model, you must determine the cooling capacity required for the area to be cooled. One way of the component with a reputable dealer of your home is the estimated needs is you can compute the size of the type of units you believe it is necessary to do the job properly. If the air conditioning central system gives a bid of several air conditioning contracts, be sure that each bidder stipulates the number of the BTUs he recommends. Compare all the bids and BTU requirements carefully by the bidder who chooses the BTU estimate. The 2 and high-low relay bids won't differ greatly from another. You can make it a fairly accurate estimate with either the guide given here. But be sure to understand the variables and the pitfalls of the under-trained estimator. Use your estimators only as a guide. Okay, functions and features of the individual rooms. Air conditioner basic function with the provide with the comfort of the cooling, the dehumidifying filter of the cleaning with the circulating air. The units must be placed with the window sill around the wall. The later type of the fits for the built through the wall, the sleeve, the heated air from the motor condenser for the outside. With the most of the valves also draw outside of the room and the coil of the wall filter and cooling into the room. And the console type units have designed to provide heating by the reverse cycle of the operating the heat pump, the steam of the hot water coil with electrical resistant element. The operation of the typical room air conditioner, warm air passes over the cooling coil given to the actual lid and the heat of the cooling condition air with it then circulate with a fan or blow with a heater from the warm air with the air coil with the cold low pressure liquid refrigerant flowing with the evaporated the vapor out with the vaporized refrigerant then carry with the heat to the compressor with the compress the vapor into the increase the temperature with a point higher than that of the outdoor air in a condenser of the high pressure of the refrigerant vapor liquefy with the gives up the heat with the room air with the outdoor air with the high pressure liquid refrigerant passes with the restrictor with the reduce the pressure of the temperature the cold low pressure liquid refrigerant re-enter the evaporator. The entire refrigeration cycle is repeated again. Operation room air conditioners are simple to operate. Usually only one controls operates units, while the second regulates the temperature. Additional operation knobs and levers are provided with a lever to deflect with the ventilation exhaust dampers. The other special feature usually with the front of the unit with the concealed behind with the accessible panel that may also be powered ever be on the top of the sides. Tip of the room of the air conditioner, one type of the integral chassis with the design of the outer cabinet with the fastening with the permanent with the chassis with the roof with the made for the servicing most of the components partially dismantling the control area with the displacing unit with another type of the slide out chassis designed with the permanent for the outer cabinet to remain in place while the chassis is removed from service. Features to look for a thermostat which prevents wide temperature range function, multi-feed span with a blow with a cool air with a room that circulate with the most air conditioners have 2 speeds and the economy modes may have the one over the deluxe model that may have more than 2 with the automatic control with which regulate with the fan speed with the diverse with the right amount with the cool air with the main game with the percent with the degree with the comfort. Condensation is both with the blow with the room from the air with the at the direction with the control with the regulates for the direction with the cool air with the air. There are many versions of this may most let you direct the air up to do with the right or the left with the straight ahead. When a combination of the other air conditioners actually change the air with the direction automatically by the means of the moving the lever to oscillation device for the unit with the protecting against the overload. A built-in device shuts off the compressor to avoid overheating of the motor, winding the humidification, remove the excess of the moisture from the room air. The filters which remove airborne dust, the clean air supply with the room and the man must be metal with a mesh and plastic which can be cleaned and reused with glass fiber which may be replaced from time to time. Fresh air intake feature with exhaust steel with the brings air and fresh air both of the air. Make sure the air conditioner valuable the year round. It's important to check actually exactly what type of ventilation any of the given the model provides in terms of the stale air exhaust fresh air inlet. There are other features to look for, such as the sound level unit with the particular importance of the air conditioner is to be installed with the bedroom with a certain amount of the sound is to be expected because of the movement over the air through the unit with the operation of the compressor for the sound level. The well designed with the room air conditioners, however, the relatively low and free with excessive vibration and noise. Room air conditioners require a durable furnishing, which, especially all parts exposed with the weather. Good design calls for the baked finish of the arrestive proof, the zinc coated steel, the use of the corrosion resistant materials, plastic, aluminum, and stainless steel. Remember the quality sometimes costs a little more. A price can be cut in poor exchange for a reputable brand name and dealer. Alright, installing room units. Mounting methods. Many lightweight with a smaller capacity with the window air conditioner could be do-it-yourself. The installation kit provided with all the parts of the proper mounting gasket panel with the weather type with the seal with the instruction procedure that must be installation easily with the help or should be filed with a carefully to ensure satisfactory results. Installing a large capacity model generally with the call of the expert with the light you with the handle of the job with the make sure that done properly. The unit is working efficiently. The through the wall of some of the large windows you have the permanent sleeve with the small air conditioners can be removed with a short over the winter. Installation procedure the differ considerably because of the room of the units to move several ways. If therefore important to consider the wall mounting it is most suitable to existing conditions, local building codes, common mounting methods are the outside but flushing mounting outer face of the unit with flush slightly beyond the outside wall to the inside flushing mounting interior face of the conditioner is approximately flush with the inside wall. Balanced mounting unit is installed with approximately half inside and half outside window. Interior mounting unit is completely inside of the room and permitted with the window to be closed. The upper sash mounting unit is mounted with the top of the window. And 5 special mounting unit is designed with the casement with the window with the horizontal sliding windows. Through the wall mount with the sleeve, they're used to install the window type of the chassis of the complete units for the console within the wall of the unit with the hot water steam coil. They're usually permanently wired with the armed cable or conduit used generally with a plug-in wire arrangement with a provide with a facility to work on the cooling portion without distributing of the heating system location of the unit. Install the room conditioner as far as possible the exterior doors prevent drive with the cross ventilation with the interfering with the cool air with make sure they have no obstruction in the front of the unit with the truss of the chairs or tapers directly with the vents upwards so that you get cool air into upper levels. It will drift normally down to the floor. Exterior of the doors window with the room should be completely weather stripped. It must be outside air. If too much outside air corners are in the cracks, the unit will have to work harder to remove the heat and humidity. Alright, power supply, voltage supply. When unit is running with a voltage, must always remain within plus or minus 10% of the rapid rated voltage. Check that the compressor is operating grounding. All units come equipped with a grounding type plug with the strip of the core with the receptacles with the units installed with the have the correct grounding contact with the fit to the plug. Fuses. The special time delay fuse for the circuit with the size recommended with the manufacturer of these fuses allow with the overloading during the starting period service and be sure the unit is plugged in and the fuses are sound before contacting the dealer and have the unit clean checked once a year. Care and maintenance: grill clean with a cloth and mild soap with warm water, no waxes or cleaners. Keep it and serve with a spray with a way some containing solvent is made or occur over the grill. Filter: clean often, remove the service booklet, direct the vacuum washer with warm water, shake off the excessive water, dry, and replace filter and grill. Condensation in the grill: moisture can collect on the grill with the unit first turned on because of the high humidity of the room. If the doors on the windows of the room are closed, the humidity will be lowered and sufficient to evaporate the moisture. Alright, central air conditioning installation. Central air conditioner, explained previously with the meaning of the whole house conditioned 24 hours a day with a year round, with the design of the distributed condition of the air with the series of the ducts already with existing and installed for this purpose. Though operating costs better overall cooling with efficiency, quieter operation, and the major advantage of the central system, most installation with a proportionally less expensive with the central air conditioner and an entire home that you get with the same amount of the cooling from the individual unit. Central system can, however, be more expensive to purchase for install with the room and the units for the normal usable duct work is available. Ripping open walls and ceilings when this is necessary can be quite costly. On the other hand, a one-story house will have with one attic and basement duct can easily be economically installed with the heating of the year-round central control system. The work with the conjunction with the air with the conditioning system, maybe the oil, the gas-fired, or electric. All electric complete central units are quite small, but compared to either earlier models installed with virtually within anywhere in the home, in the basement, of the crawl space for the attic and central hallway closet and garage, etc. Shows an oil-fueled and a gas-fired and all-electric single package unit. There are two types of central air conditioning with a single package unit and split system. Single package unit is self-contained. This is the necessary components of it together, but the package this is the least expensive. The massive the noise of the compressor makes an outside location preferable. In the split system, the components are separated with a cooling coil inside of the house and the condenser of the compressor outside, with all the noise and vibration are kept out of the house. While the single package unit is used in conjunction with a heating system and coupled with a furnace for the views of the furnace ducts work, which is used independently with the cooling only. Arrangements must be made. The distribution system duct work and blower for an outdoor installation of this type of the unit is necessary for the running of the connecting a duct from the air conditioner to the duct work. Alright, split system. The second type of the central unit is suitable for every kind of the home of the heating system. The condensing the unit located outside with the most convenient place with the connection with a small diameter copper tubing to the evaporator cooling the coil located at the furnace, using the furnace blower with the ducts to the small first summer cool air distribution vertical airflow evaporator with the cooling coil with the install at the top of the air discharge outlet with the upflow with a toilet type forced air furnace. Evaporator can be on a horizontal type. The horizontal evaporator can also be installed with the air discharge outlet of the furnace, horizontal furnace. The ideal with the attic of the crawl space installation. Downflow evaporator is placed underneath the downflow furnace, with commonly used in slab construction basement less houses or in houses which were built with crawl space for the house. For the non-duct heating system with a special blower issue, it may have its own duct system. Discharge cool air directly into the room through a directional airflow grill. This is independently used ideal with the installation of the central hallways, attics, and closets. They are often offer any optional electrical heating mode with winter-summer operation. Although slightly more expensive, this is the single package unit with the split system. Specification automatically eliminate interior noise and the need for large holes through the exterior walls necessary to accommodate with the connecting ducts to the single package outside installation. Split systems are a dominant choice for the installation of new and existing homes. Or electronic air cleaners. Type of operation made. Electronic air cleaners electrically remove that not only with the dust particle with the air, but the smoke with the pollen as well. They are available to self-contain you with the broom and you with the central system, which are attached with the warm air heating plant. Some of the most air cleaners are guaranteed to remove up to 95% of the particle within the air with a tan warm air furnace heater with a filter capable of removing only about 10% of this make house cleaning easier but less frequent and keep the air from healthful and debris, then give the relief to the sufferers from hay fever and other allergies. How they work. Electrostatic precipitation is scientific name of the process by which the air cleaning traps airborne particles. The particles are carried out with the cleaner unit that passes through the powerful electrical field to receive the intense positive electrical charge. They reach the collecting section of the particles into the second electrical field and set up between the series of the metal plates and the screens in a way similar to magnetic attractions of the iron fillings. Possibly charged particles that are hurled against the negative collecting plates, which they slay which they say until they are washed off. The process of the continuous of the air is recirculated through the living areas and back into the air cleaner with the reclean to remove the new dirt particles that enter the outside and are stirred up indoors. Self-contained models, they're easily movable and designed whenever we wish air to be cleaned. All of them employ built-in motors, driven fans circulate with the air from the unit. The self-contained types of the ideally suited for the selective air cleaning with the other application installation of the central system unit is impractical. Central system model, the use units and design with a permanent mounting of the ductwork of the central system force warm air with the air conditioner or a heat pump. Air flows through the electronic cleaner that is provided with a system circulation fan. Maintenance, about the only maintenance required is the occasional cleaning of the collector plates used. Similarly, remove the slide-out plates or wash them. In some of the models feature wash-in plates units, which permits the plates to be washed without removal. Few units even with a light bulb arrangement to indicate when the plate is cleaning is necessary. Alright, power humidifier, solving the problem due to low moisture. Physical define of the relative humidity of the ratio with the amount of the water vapor in the air contained with the total of the amount of the water contained given the temperature, but it's always stated as a percentage with the air around with the tube that is become the driver that become the gas of the air to hold the moisture that decrease the temperature drop with the we feel cooler and warmer in proportion with the rate of the evaporation moisture from our bodies. Temperature and moisture content with the air with the moisture evaporation rate with the important and the related effect of the comfort control of the winter heating makes air extremely dry with the producing rapid evaporation of the body moisture. To keep comfortable warm, you must maintain the air temperature between 75 and 80 degrees. If we add moisture to the air, we can be comfortable with a lower temperature, at least as low as 7 degrees for the comfort and the health in the wintertime. Relative to the humidity should be between 30 and 50%. You can buy it with a humidity guide, which will indicate by means of any of the pointer percentage of the moisture in the air. Best way to maintain proper home humidity level is a power humidifier, such as the unit help with the correct with the condition of extreme dryness that can cause not only personal discomfort but damage to furniture or other household furnishings as well. The automatic humidistat permits selection of the desired humidity level after the humidifier takes over the automatic maintaining that level. The type of the humidifiers, power humidifiers work on the two basic principles. Evaporator type, the capacity of the fact of the warm air moving over the water can pick up the moisture of the simple evaporation. Atomizer, the type of the mechanical break up of the water into fine particles which are on the air and can readily absorb. There are several powered evaporator types on the market. The one is a stationary pad type with the width of the motor and fan assembly draw with the warm air from the supply duct, passes it through the evaporator pad, returns the humidifier air back into the supply of the duct, and then provide with a constant positive stream of the humidified air with the supply of the duct in living area at any time when the warm air furnace is in operation. Another type may be called the dip and dry design that relies on motor power to dip evaporated media into the water that is exposed to the wetted surface to the moving warm air. The primarily designed for homes that force warm air. Proper evaporator units can also be designed for the blower and used homes as equipped with other heating system. Evaporation is accomplished by means of hot water rather than heated air, with a humidifier circulating through the deck with a centrally located grill. Operating a completely different principle, the mechanical breakup of the water with the particles which are on the air absorbed with the atomizer with the independent with the movement of the warm air with the insulated with the ductwork located with the cold air return. Some models can also be installed in the closet over the cabinet almost anywhere with the water and electrical connections are available. All they need to show is a small opening with a free exit for the house air. If you provide reasonably good air movement between the rooms, it's possible to humidify all of them from just one point. Since water vapor tends to spread evenly, both atomizer evaporator types are also available in portable form. It should be pointed out that many of the warm air furnaces that are equipped with the evaporator plate with the humidifier with the units of the rarely have the adequate capacity to cover the work of the capillary action. They are subject to the clogging of the mineral deposit. The power unit is the only sure way to supply a home with a proper consistent humidification level. Or dehumidification. How a dehumidifier lowers the humidity level. The same season, even with a tightly constructed home with problems with the undesirable high humidity, this may move the trapable combination of the fact of the trouble, the frequent shower, the wet towel, the drying clothes, cooking floor, washing, ground moisture, too common methods of reducing humidity over the mechanical dehumidifiers, two with the attic fan with the replace with more and the moisture air with the cool, dry outside air. Mechanical dehumidifiers consist of refrigerated surfaces that often cover the air dry and cooling coil, a condenser, and air circulating fan with a humidistat and the cabinet to house these components. How a dehumidifier works: most laden of the air is drawn over the refrigerated coals by the fan as the damp air hits the cold surface of the moisture of the condense the drips off the tab into a collection bucket is carried off of the drain with the houses that connect to a drip tray. Most dehumidifiers have the hose connection design with the standard garden hose that will get one long enough to reach with enough to the nearest basement drain, one side with a dehumidifier over the sink of the wash tub. Continuous recirculation of the room air with a sway with gradually reduce the relative humidity. In addition, with a humidistat control of the system will automatically can help maintain pre-selected relative humidity control with a normally supplied with adjustable range from 30 to 80% relative humidity can hold circulating air within the plus or minus 3% of the selected humidity capacity. The performance rating of power dehumidifier rated according to the pints of the water will remove within a 24-hour period where the air is at 60% relative humidity, 80 degrees temperature. Most home power dehumidifiers have the 10 to 30 pint capacity. Performance is generally evaluated determines with a point with a condensate per kilowatt hours. In one room basement, one unit which should suffice. So depending upon the air movement in their home, they may need only one for each main living area. Refrigerated air drying surfaces may take with the form of the bare tube with a fine tube with a coil with a vertically with a horizontal tube with a range with the vertical tubes. Collect smaller drops of water entering your church, quicker runoff with less re-evaporation than the horizontal tubes cover the header of the connections with the tubes closely spaced with the multi-vertical tubes involved with a high construction cost. Spiral evaporated tubes can be good compromise with these coils are often staggered for maximum exposure to floor of the damp area and you with the coils of the held firmly in position with a tip of good drainage with eliminate with the possibility of the rattles vibration. Operation of dehumidifiers are used in the winter and summer in some parts of the country, but regardless of the season, they work best with the doors and windows closed. Remember that if the rate of the moisture of the discharge vary with the weather, generally with the hotter of the day, with the faster the flow of the water, the only maintenance of the unit usually requires it remove the dust for the dirt with the refrigeration coils, the condenser, and the fan units. Most often, problems should be left to an experienced serviceman. Okay. Alright, attic fans. Though an attic fan does not reduce the temperature of the air movement, it can cause the healthy cool of the body with evaporating precipitation, creating more than just an illusion of comfort. Furthermore, the fan has ultimately reduced the temperature within the humidity and replaced the hot air and indoor air with a cooler night and the air drawn into the outdoors. But by adjusting the doors and the windows according to the needs of the condition, the fresh moving air can be routed through any part of the house. Type of the attic fans are two basic types. One is placed on the opening cut over the gable end of the rest of the attic is sealed with expected with the levers through the ceiling of the air below. The indoor air moves into the attic and the fan pulls the attic air out. With the other type of the fan placed with the cut ceiling beneath the attic and it pulls air directly with the living area into the unspaced space above the attic air with the move the outside of the outdoor space with the ventilating levers usually with the gable ends. Levers must always be large enough to for the volume of the air the fan can move to pass freely. Size fans are made with a variety. Size of the blade, size of the speed, determination of how many cubic feet of the air the fan can move per minute with the determine the appropriate size of the take all the dimension of the feet with the multiple housing length by the house with it by the room heat with the by the number of floors, the living space between that conserve the basement with the flow of the making your calculation for the room. The result will deduct 10% of the closet space with the other area of the fan that will not have the ventilation figure with its number of the cubic feet with the air of the fan must move. In the south, the fan should be able to handle the total volume of the 1 minute with the north 2/3 of the amount. For example, taking an average of 2-story plus basement house in Georgia, 35 feet from the longest 22 feet will have the 8-foot ceilings, multiply 35 by 22 by 8 by 2 stories, and you get 12,320 cubic feet. With deduct about 10% of the figure is 11,088 cubic feet. Without the air per minute with fan should be able to move the house of the New Hampshire with the fan would be need only 2/3 of the capacity of 7,392 cubic feet. Mounting on the fan with the type of the size of the method of the operation given governed construction detail of the fan mounted directly over the grill should be vibration absorbed or usually rubber and on a felt padding depending on the noise of the vibration fan mounted directly before the lever is best suspended on springs. Alright, continuing. Controls and heating cooling system, thermostats and humidistats. The heater of any type of the heating cooling system of the heating unit of the air conditioner heat pump that is controlled with these units of the might appropriate with the be called the brain or the nerve of the room thermostat primarily control of the heating of the cooling system of the homeowner is room thermostat, but there were several types of most for the based on the principle of the unequal expansion of the contraction middle of the subject of the temperature change with the differential method of the heat of the cool of the expand of the contract with different rates. Hence it's two different metals with a joint with a bimetal strip. This is a strip and an arm and will bend the temperature change with the move within the utilize the open and close the electric circuit will turn on the appropriate unit. Correct placement with the thermostat is most important, but it will vary with the cause of the according to the house plan with the thermostat should never be placed in bath with the draft that sense of the most regulate heat with the coolingness of the entire house. It should be located where the surrounding area with the average for whole house. Never place the thermostat near a fireplace or other source of the heat, in the sense of this will tend to shut off the conditioning source before the rest of the rooms reach their desired temperature. Conversely, with the hallway with the receive the guts and wind of every with the time when the front door is open, and also with the unsatisfactory spot with the thermostat. Multi-shade thermostat, single location temperature with control of the house with the often insufficient of the variation exposure with the certainly cool some parts of the home some more rapidly and sometimes less rapidly than others. Such control is bound to leave with a constant complaint with a too hot, too cold. You can overcome this problem by laying out the zone control of the zone control of the home's heating and cooling system in such a way that a separate thermostat can be provided to control the heating in such area with the desired temperature of the maintained within each one zone at all times. Manual timer thermostat with the model of the thermostat is made with the people who are away from the home much more than a day with a regular sleeping schedule. The spring wound timer with the thermostat lets you the homeowner lower the temperature of the cut down on the fuel while he is away or asleep, and at the end of the lowered needed time period the actual returns to the higher comforting setting. Or an electrical clock thermostat designed to provide complete carefree control of the thermostat requires no attention from the homeowner. Pre-selected schedule automatic lowers the temperature each night with it raised each morning. Should the homeowner wish some of the evening stay up later than the usual, he'd only shift the bright at night setting to the day to light, and the clock is working to piece as an asset on the wall. Heating Cooling Thermostat. The various models that are available among any of them contain the feature of the manual automatic changeover from heating to cooling with a reverse manual with the automatic fan control, the two-stage control of the system off, the automatic day and night control is available in some heating cooling thermostats. Thermostat humidistats. Some control units combine thermostat with the humidistat with some of the arrangement of the permanent for the control of both the humidity and the temperature of the few home control panels, even when they include the electrical air cleaner stats, single blinds, and odor control. Later, this device, which is installed with the ductwork and the forced air furnaces, the central air conditioning system neutralizes any unpleasant household odors. Our section 10: painting and decorating walls, ceilings, and floors.